Hi everyone, my name is Kirsten Bloomquist. I am a hypnotherapist and the author of the upcoming book, Power Now. I did an interview with a really inspirational person here who is a professional dancer. His name is Vadim Garbuzov, and we are going to be talking about how he achieved success and the mindset that he used to get there. So he came all the way from Austria.
Yes,
And
I'm living
he's
in Vienna
here?
now, yeah.
Yes, so he's here in Vancouver today for this interview, and I'm really excited to be able to share his knowledge with you because he has a great story and an absolutely positive mindset. So, Vadim, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've managed with luck and with hard work, with the correct mindset to achieve some titles. For example, I'm a world champion. I'm a four-time world champion in dance sport and a two-time Dancing Stars winner in Austria.
Wow.
So that's my direction. I'm a professional ballroom dancer.
That is amazing. And I know in Austria you had to dance with a same-sex partner, right?
Yes, and my very first season of Dancing with the Stars there, it's called Dancing Stars actually. I danced for the first time in history with a man, so there was a same-sex. Even though I'm not gay, we did this thing because it should be done. It should be done, and it shouldn't be about the whatever sexuality of it. It should be about the dancing. People should be free to dance with the same sex if they want to. Why not?
Yes, and I mean that's a great thing, and especially that you got to be the first to do something like that. That must have been exciting, and it's a little controversial, and you got to be right there, front and center in the action. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
And you won that season too?
No, that was my very first season. This season we became fourth, so we reached the semifinal. But it was a big success because nobody knew how this would go. Nobody knew how this partnership would function. But in the end, after a few weeks, the people, the public, and I myself forgot already that I'm dancing. I'm dancing with a man. It was about the dancing, and that was important. We were a couple competing in the competition just like all the others.
Wow. That's great. You're paving the way for future generations, right? You're groundbreaking like that. So that's good on you for that.
Thank you.
So you have been very successful as a dancer. You won a ton of different titles and championships. And what's the most recent stuff that you have accomplished?
Well, about 3 weeks ago, me and my partner Catherine, we won the World Championship in show dance for the fourth time. Wow. The title of our show was I Am a Refugee. It was about the refugee crisis a little bit in Europe.
Okay.
So it was a little bit of a controversial subject, and we thought it would be a nice idea to, demonstrate this subject, highlighted about how it would look choreographically, because I don't think so many people have done it, and we were quite successful with it. We also performed it live in front of a 5 million audience in Germany's Dancing with the Stars, which is called Let's Dance. So this was a big thing for us, and we're performing it currently in various locations around the world.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. So you really like to do controversial stuff and put yourself out there.
Actually, yeah, I think it's important when you do a choreography, it's important to do something which is recent, which is connected to modern times, which people can relate to, something which is happening right now. Mm-hmm. And if it's a little bit controversial, well, you can't be, the nice to everybody and do something which everybody loves. It has to be something where the opinions split a little bit. And why not? If it's done tastefully, I think it's always a good idea.
Yes. Okay. So now you're splitting the opinions and you're doing something controversial. So obviously you're going to get some people that are opposed to what you do.
Yes.
Some negative people. How do you face the criticism and people who are trying to bring you down? Like, what goes through your mind? What pushes you through that?
Well, yeah, there was some negative criticism, for example, about this recent, especially after we performed it in Germany in front of this is one of the biggest TV shows there are in Germany, and a big country with 80 million people, so it's a lot of exposure there, and there was some criticism. People said, "Oh, I hope you." Some wrote, "I hope that was your last performance. This is such a bad subject to take. You're trying to, make us stupid with your performance because really you're highlighting the wrong thing, and the refugees are bad," and things like this came. But I think it's a natural thing that, as long as most of the comments and most of the feelings of the people are positive, if there are some which are negative, I try to not to let it get me down, because this happens in life all the time. If you want to reach a goal, you want to do something, you're not going to have every single person around you happy about you becoming better and more powerful and believing in yourself.
So you find you kind of ignore their opinions or their comments, and you focus on what you're doing instead. You focus on your goals or your desired outcomes.
Yes, I think as long as me personally, as long as I feel that the direction I'm going is, for me personally, correct, and if it's like something like a choreography like this, that most of the opinions or the impressions of people are positive about what I'm doing, that's fine. If there's a small group of people which are negative about it, it's okay. It's a natural thing. I take their comments and I make myself stronger. I work harder and go towards the thing which I feel inside me, the direction I have to go.
Perfect. Okay, that's great. So you follow your inner truth, and that's really what's been guiding you all along. Let's talk about, because you are so successful, and a lot of the times people just think, oh, you had it easy, you had this handed to you, you didn't have to work hard to get there, and so a lot of people compare themselves, like, I've got so much harder than him, and let's share the real story. Let's share, you had struggles and you had tough challenges along the way. Can you share about some times maybe where things were hard for you, or if you failed, if things didn't go the way you wanted, and then how did you recover from those things?
Well, there were definitely moments, I've been, if we talk about dancing, I've been dancing my whole life, already for 22 years. So I started when I was a little boy. Started dancing, just some children's dancing, when I was probably around 3-4 years old. My mother brought me to the classes she was teaching, and then I started competitively when I was 8, so really with a partner on a competition. And for example, my parents at the beginning, they were, especially my mother, was supporting this a lot, and she wanted me to dance, and she, brought me to the classes. She financed the whole situation. She motivated. And after I reached a certain level, though, for example, they thought that that's enough, and I don't need to continue. That it's enough. I should stop, and I reached enough. That to go all the way would be too much. That
too much work.
Too much work, that I would just waste my energy, and that I also wouldn't be able to make it.
Yeah, a lot of competition out there.
A lot of competition, that, I'm not in the right situation to make it. I'll just waste my time. It's not going to work. And, but in the end, somehow, I tried to listen to the inner voice, which was having a lot of doubts, but still, somehow I thought, no, I wanted this always, and I'm going to go forward. And it wasn't not only my parents. There was a lot of people in the inner family circle, a lot of close friends who thought it's not going to be possible to really go all the way and become a world champion. That was the ultimate goal, actually. And somehow it's quite difficult, actually. It was quite difficult for me to always try to listen to my instinct, because somehow the mind takes over, and you start doubting 100 times and saying, no, they're right, they're probably right. It's not going to, it's too much work, and it's too much to handle. But I mean, I tried to go inside myself and listen to my inner voice, and just go back to myself and keep visualizing, keep going forward. And in the end, I managed. It turned out to be a little bit differently in a different category than I expected. The whole career went a little bit different than I thought. But in the end, the end result was actually the same that I visualized.
The same, wow. See, I like so many things that you said there. So you had close family members and relatives kind of against you saying, no, it's going to be too tough, too hard to get there. And then you just had this urge, this dream deep within that caused you to be like, no, I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people get depressed because we listen to the people around us and we stop and say, oh, maybe they're right.
Of course.
Then years later, we're like, why am I so unhappy in life? It's because we didn't follow that inner truth.
Yes. I think it's very important to listen to your inner truth, because it gets clouded along the way, you know, through people telling you their opinions and their ideas of things, and you just lose confidence on the way. And sometimes you don't even know what you want.
Yes.
That's the first thing.
So how do you get past that when it's like your vision and your dreams became so clouded because everyone's telling you something and now you're confused, what do I even want anymore? How do you just sort that out and figure out what you want?
Well, you have to, you know, when you feel you're not going into the direction you should be, something is wrong, you have to go back into your space, into your private space, and get your goals, get your directions, get your strategies sorted. Mm-hmm. I think you have to go back into yourself and get yourself sorted, and then when you know again what you want, you have to move out and move forward.
Yes. Okay. Great. So were there ever times where a dance didn't go as well as you'd hoped, and like there's a lot of pressure as a big dance, and maybe you failed, or?
Yeah. For example, I started these whole world championships that I'm managing. Yeah. Thank God, managing to win already for a few years now, with my partner Catherine. It didn't start like this. We started competing, and there were times where we were out in the first round of a big competition, you know, somewhere behind. Mm-hmm. And many competitions like this.
Wow.
And slowly, you have to, even though there are many competitors, could be hundreds of competitors, and you have to live through it that you're behind. So there were many competitions, but we were through hundreds of competitors. We were maybe in the last quarter of the whole competition.
Wow.
And just with hard work, and every year you go forward, you find your direction, find what you're good at, find your speciality, and it's a lot of trouble with the team member, so with a dance partner. It's very difficult to work with somebody when you really need to achieve results, when you really have to work hard. So there's a lot of I've had how many partners throughout my dance career? Probably 15.
Wow.
Altogether. So there were a lot of changes, and one didn't work, one stopped dancing at all, so you're left without a partner. You have to search for another one, you can't find one, you have to move to another country or let her move to you. And there was times where you just left with no results and no dance partner and no support from anybody, and you have to somehow get over it. And if you feel that this is still what you want, you have to overcome that. And we had to start from behind and slowly move up through the years forward. Also, when it came to the final stage of us, for example, in this show dance category, we started on probably some 12th place, then it was 11th place, then it was 8th place, and this was going for like 8 years in this category,
Oh, wow.
which we were winning. But this is only the last 10 years of competition. There were also the first 12 years of competition where we had to endure first rounds, being farther behind.
Yes.
And this was a very slow process.
Yes.
This was not. We were right away on the top and just enjoying our way and moving and being first place all the time. It's very slow, very hard work. You go forward, you go move back a place. You go forward, you move back a place. You change a partner. You change your teachers. You don't know where you're going anymore.
And that's so important that you pointed it out, that it wasn't an overnight success for you and your partner. It was so many years of hard work, remaining in the back of the categories. And what made you decide to continue forward when you're in the back, the last quarter of the categories, and a lot of people could have said, well, maybe I'm just not good enough, and they could have heard that inner critic and listened to that inner critic and just given up. What made you decide, no, I'm going to fight till I am good enough?
Well, actually, it was also a lot of somehow there was a point where I decided for myself, I'm going to be a world champion. This was, I don't know how many years ago, probably about 15 years ago.
Wow.
Where I decided for myself that I'm going to become a world champion. I was already a competitor. I was already, on the local level, successful, probably BC champion or something. And and I kept this goal in my mind all the time. And somehow I could not get this out of my mind. I surrounded myself with posters of medals. I visualized myself on first place every night. I visualized myself holding this trophy. And so this image in my mind, it was always there. Doesn't matter if it was a low point or a high point, or not knowing how to continue. And I think that was the image that I planted into my mind a long time ago. It was just there.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
You had that image in your mind.
Yes.
And you saw it every day, and you surrounded yourself with that, what you wanted.
Yeah.
Posters, you thought about it, pictured it.
I have posters of medals, of first place medals, in my room. I had that, yeah.
And so were you able to check all those off? I got that trophy, that medal, that title?
No, it wasn't so precise, but but I had posters of just getting this world I just wanted to be a world champion.
Yes.
That was the only medal I wanted, actually. And it took 15 years from the moment where I visualized it to get there.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. So 15 years, you visualized it every day, you saw it, you felt it too, right?
I mean, maybe not every day, maybe I got better at visualizing it later because I had to practice this visualization.
Yes.
Sometimes I got distracted, but generally somewhere in my mind this goal was planted, and I was very lucky also to find a dance partner who joined this visualization and joined this goal which I had.
Wow, that is great. That's huge. So you accomplished that goal that you had in your mind for 15 years. That must have felt really awesome, by the way, right?
It felt really awesome. And very, very interestingly, that when I reached the goal of becoming world champion, I was so kind of stuck because I didn't know what should be the next goal. Because I was so trained to do just this goal that at some point I didn't expect that this would happen. When it happened, I was like, what's the next goal? It's kind of actually, I'm still working on what should be the next thing, because there will be a moment where probably the competitions are not going to happen anymore, so we're going to have to take a next goal and do something else. But the next goal is there. The next goal, we talked about it with Catherine already, that we would like to be the first in history in this category, show dance, which we compete in, to be a 7-time world champion, because so far there's been only a couple who was 6 times.
Oh, wow. So that's your next goal,
Yeah.
and you set it here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm really excited for when you achieve it,
Yeah.
to be like, oh, you know,
That
the
would be
viewers
the
got to
second-
see
yeah,
this
that would be the
before.
next one, yeah.
Wow, that's really exciting. So you have that, you're working towards
Yeah.
it. Wow, good for you. That's huge. That's huge. Do you have any other tips for people? Like, what is it that you do to create the right mindset? Because you have a very positive mindset. You're very, very driven towards your goals. How do you get into that mindset? Is that just something that happens for you when you wake up? You feel that way? Or is there something that you do? Any type of affirmations, rituals?
Yeah, well, my ritual was always the visualization before going to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I don't know, I read this somewhere, I guess, and I did this ritual every night. So when I go to sleep, I visualize first my goals. There was a few of them, but mainly one. And then I visualize myself how I would feel when I achieve it, and picture myself achieving this goal. And that's probably something that motivates the mindset. And also, I feel that I'm functioning always better when I read motivational books all the time.
Yes. So you plant the positive.
Yeah, because if I
seeds.
don't read the books, I don't plant this positive seed, I get also very passive, actually.
Yes. I mean, that happens to all of us, myself too. So it's the more you can put the good stuff in, the better you're going to feel. It's the same with food, right? If you feed your body healthy stuff, you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
I tell people it's the same with your mind. You know, what you get in, you're going to get out.
Yeah.
So that's really important. So if things aren't going the way you want, like when you're choreographing something, do you ever get frustrated? And then what is your power now, the thing that you can do to just instantly change your mindset, switch your focus, and be like, okay, let's do this one more time?
Well, I think it's actually natural to allow yourself to also be a little bit down at some point, because you can't just be, going for it. Yes, I am going to achieve this goal no matter what. It's not possible. So you have to let yourself go down, be a little bit negative maybe about it. That's okay. Some points you can, but as long as it's not too long, as long as you kind of say, okay, I'm not gonna sit here all day. As long as you realize that, get back to your motivation. You go forward. So that's my way.
I love that you brought that up, because so many people ask me all the time. They're like, "How can I be happy all the time?" And I say that's not realistic. You're supposed to be sad some days. You're supposed to feel depressed and angry. Let yourself feel it, and it disappears.
Yeah. Yeah, so, as long as it doesn't last for too long.
Yeah.
Just let yourself go back into your cave and then go out and attack again.
Yes, exactly. Emotions are a natural part of life. Yes. So do you have any last minute tips for people how to create the right mindset for success, how to push towards their goals, especially when they're going through the hard times and they feel like throwing in the towel? How do they push past that?
Well, I think that you have to... I think my suggestion is very simple. You have to find out what you want, first of all. That's probably one of the most difficult things. Find out what you want. Set a realistic goal. If you're setting a too unrealistic goal, that's probably also not going to work. If you set a goal which is, there is a chance you may achieve it. Set a realistic goal. And just start working towards that, and start visualizing that every day, and start surrounding yourself with people who would also share it. And you're not going to be able to find all people who will share whatever you want to do. Most people will probably say it's not possible, and it's natural also. Although these are positive people. These are your family members, these are your friends. So set a goal that is not crazy. and start working towards this goal, and allow yourself to be sad sometimes, and work hard towards that. Read your book.
Yes, read the book.
Read
for
this
sure.
book every day.
Every day. Absolutely. I love that. And what about people who fail? If they've, a lot of people have it in their mind where you've got to succeed in one shot, or, oh, I failed, I should just give up. What's your take on failure?
Yeah. Failure is a natural process. It's like all, see so many, if you read the about billionaires, so many of them have been broke, like completely broke, often, and not once, sometimes many times. And it's a natural thing. You have to fail sometimes. What's important is that in the end, that you take what you want. If you along the way you're failing, you have to just let yourself fail. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. It's normal. So people who think that failure is something negative and something which is, you stop everything, that's not true. Failure is a natural part of going somewhere. It's a natural part of life. Failure, negativity, whatever happens with you on the way, let it happen, but then stand up and go forwards again. Don't let yourself stay and sink into the failure and not continue.
Yes, absolutely. Use it as a learning lesson.
Yes. And
see what you can change from there. I agree. Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time. I'm really excited for you to be a part of this journey.
Thank you. Thank you for that I was able to share this. I hope something which I said could motivate somebody. And definitely, I'm looking forward to reading the book and seeing what reactions you get.
Absolutely, it's going to be great for sure. And I'm so happy you're a part of it, because you have such a great story and such a good mindset. You're proof of the concepts that I'm putting into the book. So it's really good to see someone like this, because whether or not you worked with a mind coach or a professional like that, you picked up all the right mental tricks along the way, and the mental attitudes, and you applied them to your life, and it got you where you are, and you've got bigger things yet to come to.
We'll see if my mindset is strong enough.
Oh, it is.
Let's see.
For sure. Thank you so much, Vadim.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And guys, if you want to get in touch with him, we're going to be putting links to his social media and his website, as well as you can find out more information on my website, which is feelingpowerful.com. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.